It was fantastic television last night. It was great radio here on KCMO Talk Radio. You heard the News Nation Town Hall with President Trump on his first 100 days. Bill O'Reilly, Chris Cuomo, Stephen A. Smith, and appearances from James Carville, which had Bill O'Reilly, who's coming up here. It had him fired up last night.
Did he say or not say? Did he say I'm not? Did he say or not say I'm going to end the Ukraine war?
Bunch of bull, and you know it.
No,
you can't. You can't say it's in the budget. There's a Medicaid cut when there isn't.
There you go. Bill O'Reilly is here. Bill, are you and James Carville getting lunch today or no?
Yeah, I have nothing against Carville, but I'm tired of the propaganda garbage. I'm just tired of it. And when I did the O'Reilly Factor for 20 years, we do that every night. But now nobody does it because they're afraid to do it. And it takes work. You got to have a lot of research, and you got to know a lot of things to go after somebody and call them out. And everywhere Carville goes, they got to go Medicare. They're going to get it there. It's bull. There's nothing in the tax bill, the budget bill, any bill that cuts Medicaid. Now, do they want to reform it? Yeah, and they should. So Medicaid should not be used by the state of Oregon to finance dance classes, okay? But that's not cutting it. That's cleaning it up. So Carville got what he deserved last night.
Yeah, he sure did. So, Bill, what was your assessment? The president gave you guys about a half hour last night. You hit on a bunch of different topics. Your first question was about some, tough polling he's had lately. What was your assessment, knowing him as well and as long as you've known him, of where he's at 100 days in?
Well, there's a good backstory to this. So I booked him on the News Nation Town Hall, and it was nice of him to do it because yesterday was very busy for him. And then his people started hawking me about time. Mm-hmm. Oh, you get 15 minutes, maybe 20, that kind of thing. Now, I don't argue with that. That's not what I do. So I knew that in order for President Trump to get his points across, because he's windy, all right? Yeah. He's all over the place, that I was going to need more than 15 minutes. So about 10 minutes before air, I called him on his private line. I've never done that before. I've never called the President of the United States on his private line, because that's intrusive. But I got him, and he was right in the middle of a meeting in the Oval Office. I said, look, I'm sorry to bother you, but you need to know that this is a huge thing. 100 radio stations, including KCMO, taking it. You got CW Network, you got News Nation, you got YouTube, you got X, all over the world. If it's a truncated interview, and I can't get all the questions I want because I got two other guys there, Cuomo and Smith, it's not going to work to anybody's benefit. So to his credit, he gave me 42 minutes, okay, which is pretty much unheard of. Mm-hmm. But he came across pretty well, I thought. Yeah, you got the usual dose of we won the election by 85,000, whatever he says. Mm-hmm. But the point was, and this is the last point I made to him on the pre-call, was you have to explain what you're doing and why, because some people are panicked. And that's what we want you to do here for the country. Mm-hmm. And he got it.
Yeah, and the tariff thing, he seemed to be more comfortable explaining than really at any point in the last few weeks. Do you feel like he is trying to and successfully settling people down on that issue in particular?
I don't know about settling people down because that's going to be the stock market, not anybody's words. I can tell you that he believes 100% that he's going to win the tariff wars and prosperity is going to come very quickly to the country. He's rolling the dice. He knows it. And a strong point he made in the interview last night was, look, I didn't have to do this. I could have laid it back like every other president and allowed the $1 trillion a year trade deficit to go on and on and on, which is what every modern president has done. But I just think it's outrageous. And if you really want to create a robust economy in the United States, the world's biggest market, you got to have fair deals. And I thought that resonated in a nonpartisan way, so that people now know what it is. But it might not work. It all depends on the markets.
Bill O'Reilly's here on KCMO. So, Bill, you mentioned kind of the bipartisan nature of this town hall you did last night on News Nation. It aired on KCMO and 100 other radio stations. So that group, yourself, Cuomo, Stephen A. Smith, Steve Bannon makes an appearance. Of course, you're yelling at Carville. Bill, you just don't see that anymore. In really most platforms, do you think that I thought it was great, but do you think that format is one that the American people want right now and that can succeed right now in this climate?
Well, all I can tell you is that the television ratings are the barometer of what succeeds and what doesn't. And every time I go on News Nation, the ratings pop. Every time. So there's a segment of the population that wants robust debate. They want people held accountable for what they say and do. And that's what I do. Okay? Unfortunately, the other cable networks, all of them, talk to the choir because it's much easier to do that. They said, look, we don't want to have all this debate and we don't have to do all the preparation. And now we're just going to tell people what they want to hear. And that has really led to the diminishment of television news because that's what you got. So I do think that there's an opportunity for a News Nation or some other vehicle to get back to, confrontational debate. And I do think there is an audience for it.
Don't you think as well, though, it is harder to find people, more so I would say on the left side of the aisle than the right side of the aisle, but that's just my opinion, who want to actually engage with those that may not see the world the way they do? Do you feel like that has also changed from, let's say, when you're doing the O'Reilly factor?
The problem is that, and this is a serious problem, once the television news abdicates its responsibility to bring truth to the people, then you descend into a world of propaganda, which is where we are. And that's why I let Carville have it. Because Carville runs around saying that Trump's going to cut Medicaid. That's simply false. There's no record of that at all. Now, if Trump suddenly throws in a cut on Medicaid, I'll be the first one to report it. But that's not reality. Yet there doesn't seem to be any outrage on the corporate side or on the audience side to demand that this kind of propaganda stop. And so it proliferates.
You alluded to this last night, Bill, in the town hall, that Trump may be a victim of the pace at which he is moving right now, because we've never seen a pace like this, at least not in modern American history. How much do you think that actually is possibly backfiring on him with how quickly he's trying to move through these first 100 plus days?
Excellent question. Number one, not modern history, all history. All right, so as I said to the president at the top of the interview, no other president has done or tried to do more in 100 days than you. George Washington is second because he didn't have a government. He had to put something together, okay? And the problem with shock and awe, doing so many things at once, is that a lot of people don't understand why you're doing it. And the communications out of the White House have not been that great. I mean, they answer the questions. Trump is available. He sits and he does that gaggle, they call it, every day, whereas you never saw that with Bush or Obama or Biden. They never did that, ever. Clinton didn't do it. Trump will do it. But there isn't a deep-seated explanation of what this tariff thing is, and then when things go wrong, people panic because they don't understand what the big picture is. He was able to articulate the big picture last night, which is why that town hall was so valuable.
No doubt about it. So what about RFK? I thought he was one of the stars of the show last night, Health and Human Services Secretary, of course. He gave Stephen A. a great answer in terms of how cutting HHS has nothing to do with the health of the citizens of this country. What was your big takeaway from RFK?
Yeah, and I gave him a compliment, RFK. I said that was a great answer, and I'm not a big RFK fan, okay? But he answered that very articulately because the Democrats are trying to – they don't want any cuts, Pete. I don't know one cut that the Democratic Party has supported in the federal government. Do you?
Nope.
They're fine with a $37 trillion debt. They're fine with $1 trillion a year trade deficit. That party's fine with it all. And that's what I told that Congressman Ashenslutch from Massachusetts. I said, you're running around and you're Armageddon and you got nothing. You're okay with all of the status quo that Biden rode into the second worst president in American history. And you're okay with it. I mean, I just don't get it. I don't see it. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's a winner for the Democratic Party.
No way. So how do you define, Bill, these next 100 days? What will have to happen or needs to happen over these next 100 for the president to feel like he's got that momentum, he's got the wind to his back, and he is on the way to hopefully a successful second term, which all Americans should want right now?
Well, it's easy. The stock market's got to go up. Bond market has to stabilize. U.S. dollar's got to go up. And that will only happen if these trade deals came into play. You may have noticed that I know that they have deals with India, South Korea, and Japan. Those deals have been agreed to, but they have not been signed. Now, I told Trump that. He did not deny it. But I know why he didn't announce it. Because he wants to do a big television that goes worldwide, and he's saving it to when those signatures come in. The danger in that is these guys might back out. Modi and the Japanese and the South Koreans might say, I don't know. But they do have agreements. And once those agreements are announced, the market will go up. Now, whether it will stay up, I don't know. No one knows.
Yeah.
But then the momentum will shift. And if it continues, China's going to be the big problem. Then Trump, in the next 100 days, his poll numbers will go up significantly. But it's all about money. You mess with people's money, they get nervous.
So well said. Bill O'Reilly on KCMO. Bill, always outstanding. I know you had a crazy busy week, so thank you for joining us on KCMO. It was a hit for the radio audience last night, and I hope it's not the last one of those because, yourself, Bannon, Carville, Cuomo, Stephen A., and even Trump saying to Stephen A. he should run for president. That was outstanding.
That was funny. Right. Now, if anybody missed it, you can see it on BillO'Reilly.com if you become a premium member, as Pete Mundo is.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So we have it for premium members. Anytime you want to watch it, the whole thing is there. And premium membership on BillO'Reilly.com is going to help you in your life. So you might want to consider. You get a free book, any book you want, if you sign up. It's not expensive. Great Mother and Father's Day gifts. Thanks for having me in, Pete.
Thank you, Bill. That's outstanding. We appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bill O'Reilly, well done on KCMO Talk Radio. He's right. That's right around the corner. Mother's Day, Father's Day, premium membership, BillO'Reilly.com. Watch the Town Hall from last night. Get a free Killing book as well. What more can you ask for? That's outstanding. A lot of good information there from Bill. Well done. We appreciate him fitting in KCMO. 100 radio stations carried it last night around the country, and News Nation did a really good job with it as well.